Situation Room. The only way to start your day.
I really, really hoped that we would get it, but City, we missed it. It's 10 minutes after 8.
It was supposed to be 8 minutes after 8
Yes.
on this 8th, is it 8th month?
8th day of 8th month.
Yes.
We missed it
By 2 minutes.
Anyway, it's okay.
No, we'll time 18th minute. Yeah, I'm not giving up on this thing. There has to be an 8
There has to
somewhere.
be somewhere, some
Yes,
8 thing,
surely.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's all right. It's okay. Welcome to the third hour of the Situation Room. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for keeping it locked on Spice FM, on KTN Home, KTN News, YouTube, Facebook, X, TikTok, everywhere, wherever you're finding us. Asante, we're glad that you're here. In the next 50 minutes or so, State House will be a beehive of activity. Families, relatives of those that have been appointed as cabinet secretaries will be sitting there. They'll be watching as their kin hold on to the Bible and they swear to serve diligently as cabinet secretaries. Yesterday, the National Assembly's Committee on Appointments presented its report recommending out of the 20 that they interviewed, 19 were to be passed as for appointment. And the House accepted and agreed with that report. So 19 were approved by Parliament. And before Gafla had become VU, President William Ruto had appointed them and gazetted it as an appointment. So they have been appointed. They're going to be taking oath at 9 a.m. today to become cabinet secretaries. That's what we want to discuss. So will this new cabinet win the trust, the faith, and the confidence of the people? The other one was basically dismissed because the public had issues with that cabinet. Will this one do better? Con Omorio Sendo is the governance and political economy expert. He's our guest this morning. Con, good morning.
Morning, Eric. Morning, City.
Morning.
How are you?
Good, I'm good.
Finally, you're seated at the hot seat of the city.
Yes, I've always escorted people here. Today, I'm seated here.
Today, you are the one.
Yep.
Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Karibu sana. The Aga Khan University Hospital tells you if you have 9,950, right?
Kenya shillings.
Kenya shillings.
Yes.
The next time you're going for your annual medical checkup, go to Aga Khan. They do a comprehensive checkup from as low as 99.50.
Yes.
No, those American ads, 99.99.
No, in the hills, I say 9950. And you've never been, perhaps it's a time for you to start.
Yeah.
And why? Well, it's your health, it is your life, and shouldn't you be better informed? Shouldn't you take the opportunity to actually know exactly what's ticking in your body?
Yep.
What's where? Is it working right? Is there something that's threatening it? Well, you can't know this on your own, but if you do go for a medical checkup at the Aga Khan, you will be able to have an idea of exactly what is happening in your body. Better safe than sorry, they say. A stitch in time saves 9.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You just walk in there. You're sent to various labs. Take this, take the other, take this, take the other. Of course, they check your pressure. And then you go and see to the medic who now reviews the results, and you're discussing them one by one. Boss naona umekata center borut.
Yes, ball joint haifanyi kazi bro.
Hivi unakaa wewe. Naona ni kama nini?
Shock absorber.
Shock absorber zimeisha. Grease ya magoti.
Baba.
So they walk you through that, and it's important for you to have it. So, Hakon?
Sawa.
Very good. City will give you the day's proverb.
Yes. Our proverbs for the whole of this week have been from the Republic of Botswana. Our proverb for the previous week and the week after this are all from landlocked countries of Africa. So this is your opportunity to tell us how your geography classes fared in school. Mention one landlocked country which isn't Uganda.
Rwanda. I think.
No,
Rwanda.
it is.
Yes.
It's very landlocked.
Extremely landlocked.
It's extremely landlocked. We agree with you.
Very much so.
Very much so. Okay, the proverb.
It's from?
The Republic of Botswana. Also landlocked. Okay? Son-in-law, hasten. The marriage cattle are gone.
Son-in-law, hasten. The marriage cattle are gone. I know, right?
Yeah, because ideally, son-in-law hasten. If the son-in-law is bringing marriage cattle, or, sons-in-law bring the marriage cattle to where they're going to marry. Son-in-law hasten, the marriage cattle is gone, could mean that it could be figurative of your marriage or your wife is getting out of your grasp.
That possibility exists, yes.
Yeah, and so hasten and save that.
Because that kurudishing ng'ombe.
Haki kuna refund.
Kuna refund.
Yes.
Huyu akienda.
Refund on used goods. Hakuna.
Goods once sold.
Not refundable.
Not refundable.
So you think it's basically telling the son-in-law, take care of your family.
Take care of your home.
Take care of your home.
Yeah. That's my guess. But cities proverbs are usually very difficult, but that's my guess.
Yeah, cities proverbs are like that.
These are not real proverbs. All I do is vocalize them. The people who wrote these proverbs wrote them for a purpose. And Africans understand that livestock is often given as a form of dowry. We all understand that.
Yeah.
And the beauty of proverbs is this: you can't possibly be wrong. Yes, because we're asking for your interpretation, and that's what you've given us.
Yes, true.
We start the conversation with greetings to you from Constant Cup. He says you were his senior in secondary school.
Yes. In a great school we were in together.
Which one?
Strathmore School.
Okay.
Well, that's a good school. There's no question about it.
It's a great school.
Thank you.
No, it's a tremendous school. By the way, I didn't go there, but I know it was a wonderful, wonderful school.
Yes.
So you were his senior. So you were classmates with his brother Andy Cup. Okay.
I didn't see that one
You
coming.
didn't see it,
No.
Like that.
He was a good young man. I think he was a sportsman of the year in his year. Yeah, but a very, very good friend of mine eventually.
I'm sure he still knew how to ride even then. Constant Cup is known just for riding.
No, by Skelly Baba. Hey, same WhatsApp group.
Okay. The cabinet is going to be sworn in. 19 of the 20 that were interviewed by the parliamentary committee. We saw what the report was saying. We saw the debate in the House with regards to these members. We've seen some reports again in the papers today. But we step all the way back to the day the president announced that he's dissolving his cabinet. Let's just start from there. From that point, what was the president saying when he dissolved his cabinet? What made him dissolve the cabinet?
I mean, those public pressure for him to dismiss the entire cabinet. I think Kenyans initially started with the rejection of the finance bill, but that was really a trigger on so many other issues that Kenyans felt were not being handled well. And they were looking at the top policy-making organ in the country, which is the cabinet, for having let a lot of things slip through their fingers, the arrogance or the opulence, or just a lot of policy issues that were affecting Kenyans, and the feeling that these have not been handled well. So when the protesting public turned on the heat and said, we want this cabinet dismissed, I think the president must have gone back and reflected and said, okay, let's start afresh. And I'll concede on that, amongst a few other things that he conceded on. So I think for him, it was a conceding to the public pressure and then beginning to recalibrate from there.
Can we say that the public pressure was a vote of no confidence on the cabinet?
Pretty much.
Okay. Cabinet as an institution, or cabinet as an institution and the individuals therein?
Maybe a bit of both. But you see, cabinet as an institution is already enshrined in law, so we have it. So I think it was more of the individuals who are seated in there or who are appointed in there, and how some of them may have carried out their duties or handled their dockets and the impact of that on the people. Yeah.
Public reaction after the first 10 were nominated by the president. When he came and said, I have the first list of 10 nominees, what did you read as the mood of the public?
So you had a section of the public that wanted a fresh start. And so when the president brought back 10 from the previous, or from the 21 that he dismissed, that was not seen by some as a fresh start. So you still have a section of the public that is not entirely happy and whose confidence in the cabinet and potentially the president will be affected negatively, yes.
And then he said, this is just a start. I am still consulting widely and I want to form a broad-based government. He comes again with the next batch and says, now this is the broad-based government. He brings in some of those that he had dismissed. He brings in new fresh faces, and some of the fresh faces are from the opposition benches.
There now we see a flip. So you see, again, a section of the public happy with these opposition members, I think are about 5, who then have been appointed. There are 4 gentlemen, 1 lady.
Later in the second.
Yes, later. Okay, fine. Yes, if you're looking at how then he was appointing. So there are those 4 that he brought in from the opposition. And you see then another section of the public who are like, okay, we don't mind, because I guess that was their side of the political divide. But you then still have, again, those who wanted a fresh start saying, wait, this is not what we were asking for. So it's again a mixed bag. Yeah.
I don't see it even as a mixed bag, really, because if you consider the people who are making the decisions, they are the people who, in one way or the other, have contributed to the position we currently find ourselves in. And I mean all of them. There's no one takes a break on this one here. So when it is them who are making these decisions, after they've been given an opportunity to make a decision that would resonate with change, what are we doing? We're recycling. It doesn't matter whether the person was in cabinet or not. If these are the people whom we've had in the position of what we call political leadership, then what has changed really? Is it that somebody who's never been on this docket has been given the job? Everyone who gets that job in all these dockets comes the promise, all, without fail. I've never heard anyone coming in and saying, you know me, I'm planning to fail. And if I'm given this job, I'll fail spectacularly. In fact, I will do very little. They never say that.
Yeah.
They always talk about how they'll stop this or start this or carry on with this or change this. The thing is this, we very rarely see any change that you can even refer to as being slightly meaningful. So this lot that have now been brought in, what exactly are they going to promise that will be new? Are we to go by what they told us they would do if they get the job? Are we to look at the track record of what they have been all along and take the view that because it is now a new docket, they'll suddenly change? They won't change. Nothing new will happen. They didn't listen. Yes?
Pressure sana.
Pressure kufiti.
It's creasing.
Inapandisha kidogo tu.
Pressure is creasing.
Okay, nimetoa mguu kwa pedal.
Hey, con.
No. City makes an important point. I think if you look at the spectrum of public demand and public response to the president's nominations, you still have a good section of the population saying we wanted a fresh start, so we don't have confidence in this team that you've brought in, because if you're talking about a fresh start. And you know, from what you have said, CT, you are only looking at about 5 who are really like new people from private sector or from wherever, and sometimes it's hard to understand, because when you look at say when the president brought in the opposition members, he had there was a lot of celebration from especially the regions that they come from, because of the usual thing we have as Kenyans. This is our person.
Finally, we are in.
Finally, we're here. Someone was saying we have never had this docket before as a region. So you had all these kind of reactions. But yes, how will it be moving forward? Will they bring anything new? Do we rely on their track record? Do we rely on what they've said? All those questions you ask are critical. But one thing I know that will be different, if they are appointed today and they take their oath, and you know, I hope they read that oath, because it's a very significant oath that they take. They public accountability that we have seen in the last 2 months alone, that has shifted hugely how Kenyans process and understand and make their demands on public policy has changed. And if they're expecting to get into office and be comfortable and ride their way the next 3 years, I think they'll be mistaken on that.
You know, the political positions that the government appoints people to, in reality, is not anything that's supposed to benefit the country or the citizenry. It never really does. What it does is it benefits a few. There's a cabal, the people surrounding you, the people who sponsored you, the people who supported you. It benefits. And for someone who is considered a very good choice is somebody who benefits his community, and the community recognizes that they have benefited from that person's position. How this translates into benefit from the country, I'm not certain, because how then do you explain it? Because if I have a docket and my community benefits, they will support me. It doesn't matter what wrong I do, they will support me. Okay? Now, this is our norm. This is our reality. And this is what I believe among the things that those who are protesting were saying, look, we don't want this. This is what guarantees that we do not move forward as a country. If anything, we are permanently in reverse gear. We want to borrow 1 trillion shillings. The Auditor General tells you there's 1 trillion shillings that was in our system here and you can't trace it. Which means if we had the 1 trillion shillings, if I'm speaking very simply, we did not need to borrow the 1 trillion shillings we are borrowing. So exactly. And it's this government. It's not another government. There are no alien governments in Kenya. It's just one. So.
And that's the crossroad we find ourselves in. Because with these nominations, you will still have a disaffected section of the public who are still going to push back. But at the same time, I think I want to think that we have changed significantly how we shall be doing our accountability in this country, at least from the public side.
Rapana. Okay, you go on. It's your thing. Let me not interrupt. Please proceed.
You don't agree?
No, that is a knee-jerk reaction.
It was
just a knee-jerk reaction. You just carry on.
He
has reined in his knee. It will not do it again. Yes, please go on.
Yeah, the standard that we want to then start holding, not just cabinet secretaries, but generally state officers, public officers, paid by taxpayers and given a task to do, has changed, and I think that will go on. So even if the CSs are appointed today and they start their role, I say we're at a crossroads because you're going to probably see two things. One, they continue with their work and we continue with all forms of protest, whatever form they'll take. But two, the pressure to then deliver based on what Kenyans protested about, brought to the fore, and the last 2 months, how we have reacted to the politics and the state of affairs in the country.
Did you get a sense of that from the members of the vetting committee? The National Assembly's
the Committee
on Appointments. Did you get that the members of that committee were actually cognizant that things have changed? Did you get from those candidates, as they were sitting there and they were answering questions, did you feel that they're feeling, okay, yes, I want to also be more accountable. So as I answer this question, I know I'm not answering to these members, I'm answering to Kenyans?
I think the members just stuck to the usual script they've used, which could mean that they probably didn't come in there with the mind that something may have changed and we should take this approval hearing differently. So they started the rule book and asked questions around the dockets these guys are going to manage, about the sectors, issues that have been, that those sectors have grappled with. They brought in a bit of what the public is saying. it was business as usual for me in terms of the committee. In terms of the nominees, they would only then respond to what is brought on the table. And you had a few of them who are experienced and would go a bit of the extra mile to speak, and you had those who were just playing it safe, and those who also just did not hack it. I think one of the things that this committee on appointments would have done innovatively, if you read the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, this committee has the power to bring a member of the public into the room and present evidence on the suitability of the nominees.
The committee has legal powers to co-opt somebody.
No.
To come in and
co-opt.
ask.
You saw the speaker give us the data of the memoranda that came in. About over 600 and only about 180 that were
At the master.
Met the threshold.
met the threshold of the law. Nothing stopped the committee on appointments to say, okay, for each CS nominee who has memoranda written on them or sent about them that has met the threshold, let us invite one of them to come in and
directly ask the
questions or present the issues and the evidence and let them respond. That would have been something innovative. And the same act says that between the notification in Parliament by the Speaker and when the committee should table the report, they have 28 days. They've done this process in 15 days. It was a rush.
They still had another fortnight to do this.
Exactly. So we had about 5 nominees per day. That could have even been 3 per day. And you still have time to do your report and time to table it. So I think if the committee may have been plugged into the public sentiment that we've had in the last 2 months, if I was them, I would just innovatively just push out and say, bring someone there.
Now you see why my knee was reacting. Because you said you thought and you were hoping that it would be now different. That this public accountability that has come from the citizens would now be the new order of the day. But we saw what the order of the day is. From those in leadership, what they were showing us, that's the order. The day hasn't changed. They are still on Monday. Us guys on Friday. We moved. Let's take a break. It's 27 minutes to 9. Our guest this morning is Conor Sendo. He's a governance and political economy expert. New cabinet secretaries will be sworn in this morning in State House. 19 of them, they were appointed last night by the president, gazetted, and now they will be sworn in this morning. Higher, and then they'll be formally gazetted now as cabinet secretaries. This is the oath of office. It is part of the Constitution as a schedule. Oath or solemn affirmation of due execution of office for a cabinet secretary. And this is how it reads. I, so-and-so, being appointed a cabinet secretary of Kenya, do swear that I will at all times be faithful to the Republic of Kenya, that I will obey, respect, and uphold this Constitution of Kenya and all other laws of the Republic, that I will well and truly serve the people of the Republic of Kenya in the office of a cabinet secretary, that I undertake to hold my office as cabinet secretary with honor and dignity, that I will be a true and faithful counselor to the president for the good management of the public affairs of the Republic of Kenya, that I will not divulge directly or indirectly such matters as shall come to my knowledge in the discharge of my duties, and committed to my secrecy except as may be required for the due discharge of my duties as cabinet secretary, and that I will perform the functions of my office conscientiously and to the best of my ability. So help me God. This is what they will be swearing. And you said it's important for them to factor in what they're saying as they're taking the oath.
And to reflect seriously.